Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Because now I know when something happens in our lives that is unexpected, you have to go into it in order to ever have any hope of coming through it. So when you go, guess what? When you come out the other side, you grow.
Brought out more in me than I thought that I didn't even know that I had.
That has given all of us a great hope for what we can do with our own messages, our abilities to deliver, but most importantly, to deliver it in an authentic and very, very intriguing way.
Have you ever been in something or felt something where the only way you felt you could deal with it was to leave, get away? I thought that was the meaning of control. It took me 4.5 years to stop looking around the room of my life, of my journey, of my purpose, digging in cushions for a remote that never existed. Looking, re-looking, going back and upgrading, bringing in and pulling out things that do not serve you must go. Those things out in this world that are designed to bring us down, to keep us down, put their foot on our neck and whisper to us that we're never good enough, they don't whisper. They yell at us from all directions, top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner, 365 days. When somebody asks you about yourself, don't you dare whisper. When they ask you to raise your hand, don't you dare half raise it. When they ask you something good about you, you scream it with all you have. Come on now, get up, get up. Tell me who you are. Show me who you are. Greatest truth of all, that not everyone has to remain lost.
mercy today. For real. Look, it's good morning. It's Friday. I am so tired. Let me tell you. Welcome to today's installment. Look at my eyes. I stay at Brian is gone. He went to his aunt's house yesterday for a 4-day weekend in Iowa. And every time he leaves, I cannot sleep in our room. So I thought I was going to sleep on the couch. I made myself a little pallet and stuff. Fell asleep at 1 o'clock, woke up at 2. So I just worked. So here we are. Oh, here, I don't care. As long as I can blink these eyes, I'm up. I want to tell you something, too. Look, I was going to take this off. That's right. I was like, ooh, that's so Pam-mammy. You ever heard of that? Pam-mammy. Well, my granny, she used to wear she would have like a winter patchwork coat on, the kind with the fur on it, all the way down on the bottom layer, 2 sweaters, then a hoodie. And we were like, Granny, that's Pam-mammy. But she'd be like, Flowing, go in there and get me that foot heater, girl. My feet is cold. She was so country, right? So I'm like that today. I'm like grandmama. I don't care. I am happy to be here, even though, well, I have a short day. I'm just going to sleep and do some yard work and just relax. That's something I don't think we all know how to do. What do you do to relax? Do you have to force yourself? Everybody tells me I have to force myself. No, they have to force me because I won't sit it down. And I agree. I can own that. What about you? And it's important. Self-care now more than ever with this new normal, because you can just. Our guest today is going to talk about how he's done it. I've watched him move it along at a pretty rapid pace over the last few years since we initially met. I'm speaking of the incredible Jonte Hall. And y'all heard me when I hope he didn't hear that yesterday when I promoted the show. I said, I'm pretty sure that I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure he is the shortest Harlem Globetrotter in history. Shake your head. It's true. See? I don't know how I knew that. But anyway, he's the tallest man when it comes to being of service. Going back to the hood in which he came out of, he may be short, but it didn't stop him from becoming a Harlem Globetrotter. He now speaks all over to kids, adults, anyone who will listen pretty much. And today he's going to talk to us about some of the things that you might not expect when you hear the story of what happens with someone. Let's call this episode Life After Fame. What happens? We're going to find out today. But before we get him in here, I want to say, y'all, get ready. On the E360 television network, I'm so proud and excited. 6 great shows to kick off. I got my own network starting November 1st. Trajectory TV. There it is. Where content. Wait, that ain't it. What is it? Trajectory TV. Content with direction. Okay? Content with some direction, y'all. Not just any old thing. Content with direction. Can I get an amen? And that new cover out. Got that new cover out. Don't worry. I'll be sending out copies. I made my big order yesterday. And I always give them out and stuff. So, yeah. Thank you. Courageous Women, Courageous Men magazine and the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Talicia Berry. So, I'm about to bring him in here. I would play the Globetrotters music. But the last time I did, they blocked my ass on Facebook because I didn't have permission. So ain't gonna be none of that. But I can play this. You know what? Oh, hey, Jonte.
What's up, man?
Now I was looking for a brown paper bag so I can put my coffee, act like I was Ned the Wino because I look like him today.
Same here. Don't feel bad.
You've been up all night as well, right?
Yes, I work. Yes.
Good. They were like, what were they smoking? Did you see
I know,
that?
right?
I'm glad you're back, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
When you make some changes in your world, I mean, you really make some changes.
Yes.
I'm going to dip out. Tell everybody, just tell them who you are, how you got started, what part of the country you're in, and then we'll come back. I'll come back in and we'll start it on this Life After Fame. Is there such a thing?
Yes.
I know one thing. It ain't for R. Kelly. But anyway, that's another show. I'll be back.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jonte Hall. That was a nice introduction. from Lauren as always. For Baltimore, Maryland. I'm only 5'2". I made history with a world famous, iconic team. World famous Harlem Globetrotters, the first shortest in team history, standing at 5'2". I traveled the world. I traveled to 57 countries. I've been all 50 states. On my second passport. So life after fame, that's what we're going to talk about. Because every time I come on here, I talk about um, the not so good things. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, the good things, but not, you know what I mean? I don't,
right.
I kind of like separate the other stuff.
Yeah, the other stuff, and we all have other stuff. Um, but before we get to that other stuff,
All the other
let's
stuff.
talk about that little mini me other stuff.
Oh man, that guy keeps me going. My son name is Jameer. He's going to be 3 December 16th. Oh man, he's a
Already.
bundle of joy. So much energy, man. My mom said, "Look, don't get mad because you took us through all that. So don't
Oh,
get mad." Yes. So he's in that turbo 2 stage.
so
But
yeah, when we were here together before, didn't have the baby yet,
nope,
and,
ain't had a baby yet.
and you had I didn't hear any signs of looking for a baby, but I saw it
Right.
on the social, and it just went so fast. That 1 minute you're announcing it, the next minute you're holding him, and the rest is history. So,
Yes.
what has that done, Jonte? Because okay, so your son's almost 3,
Mhm.
but let me show this little clip.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's do it.
because you mentioned something in it, and that's kind of what we're getting at today, that other side. So I'm gonna just pull it up real quick.
Absolutely.
Okay. You guys bear with. Look at all the messages up on the screen. Okay, here he is. I'm pretty
This past February, I've been off and on drinking. And like I said, mental health is, a lot of people don't understand mental health. But I was in a pretty dark place where I didn't want to talk to nobody. And my good friend, was a little mad at me because, I wasn't communicating. It's just when you're in a dark place, that's when I didn't know how to talk to anybody. I go into a shell. But if you're going through mental health, please talk to somebody. Because if you hold it in, bad things happen. Like me, I turned into an alcoholic, but I've been clean for 5 months. I'm excited. Thank you. Been clean for 5 months, but I went to go get help. I went to go see a psychiatrist. So don't be afraid to go get help, because it will help you. You're not alone. And so if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. I can relate. Trust me, I can relate. And I done lost about 10 pounds. I got a nice little figure. Yes, I'm proud of this figure. I worked hard for this.
I know that's right. So, so there it is. You laid it out on the table for all.
Yes, laid it out.
So let's go right to it. You said you went to a psychiatrist.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
okay, what I'm getting at, and you mentioned mental health. So it's not just because alcohol. I had an addiction. There was
Yes.
an underlying issue, a core
Mm,
issue that led to the next thing.
yes.
Talk about now when you were here before, was there a problem with drinking and we just didn't know about it? You didn't see it for what it is? What was the deal then?
Um, I was on and off. Like I was drinking occasionally, put it like that. I wasn't like
That's called socially.
socially. Yes, I was drinking socially. So it wasn't a habit back then. But I was also going through a little bit of depression at that time. But it got worse. It got worse.
And this is all post baby,
Yes. Well, this post baby and during the baby. Yes.
but not before.
Yes. Um, Before I was famous, Well, I'm still famous, but I was in the spotlight. So it wasn't like I wasn't drinking like that. It wasn't a habit. I was traveling and doing something I love to do. So of course we occasionally party a little bit, go out, nice, nightlife, and I have a sip or two. but it wasn't consistent. You know, I ain't
Yeah.
start being consistent until so 2019. I left the team. I left the Globetrotters. I didn't get fired. I
Now, was
didn't
that
retire.
COVID?
I just resigned. Huh?
Was that because of COVID?
No, no. Actually, I
Oh,
just walked away because I felt God pulling me in another direction with speaking and sharing my story.
I feel that.
Yes, yes. So that's why I left the team. That's why I left the team.
Okay. And then
And
COVID came.
then COVID came. Yes, because I had some speaking opportunities, but
Yeah,
COVID has shut down everything. So
right. You were speaking when
that
you were here last. You were already on.
yes, yes,
Right.
yes. And I was about to do something with you with Power We, right?
Yes, and empower because we were going to remember we were ready to go to Australia.
Yes, yes. I remember. I remember. I remember.
Yeah.
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 So I guess a lot of my depression came from at that time, excuse me. It came from broken promises, like where as though people were telling me, companies were telling me, okay, Jonte, you know, you're gonna be speaking with us, you know, you're gonna get paid this amount of money and you're gonna sign a contract. So I'm like, all right, I'm excited. Yes, yes, yes. And so, you know, it didn't go as planned, you know, so that took me downhill really fast because I had everything planned before I made that huge decision to leave a world famous team. You
Right.
know, I had everything planned out, and then I knew I felt well. Was
Oh,
she pregnant?
interesting.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
my son was. I think my son. I think he was conceived then. I think because I was like I was hungry. I was like, I mean, I got to get something because my son is coming, and it was just like panic mode. It was panic mode.
got to make something happen.
Yes, 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 man. So it's been a tough journey. Tough journey, man. Tough journey.
So you okay? Let's unpack this a little bit. And I find this very interesting because on the iHeart Radio show that I do, License for Love with Cowboy Jax Young out of Nashville, we had one of the High Five boys. You know, remember the kissing game? Oh,
Okay.
a few weeks back, and that's what he was talking about. And I remember I even asked him. I was like, "So, what was more scary, the first day when you were backstage and there was, you know, thousands of fans out there screaming for high five, or the day there were no fans screaming for high five?"
That's deep. That's deep.
And he said, "Definitely the day I woke up and nobody was screaming for high five."
That's deep.
And so, but you walked away from the Globetrotters to
Mm.
get away from fame, but then it sounds like it was the very thing you missed because what you thought, I'll just have a different kind of fame through
Yes.
speaking, and then
Yes.
you said, "Oh no, you won't, not yet." Anyway, right?
Not yet.
What was it, Jonte? No identity. You that if you didn't have the Globetrotters name on you, you didn't have anything. What was it?
It was identity, I think. I want to say, because you know, I was so used to traveling, so used to the spotlight. I was in a different state, different country almost every day. Like I was somewhere different every day around the world.
Yeah.
So I was so used to being on the go. And so when that stopped, I couldn't keep still, you know. I was in and out of bars and I was trying to fulfill that spotlight with something. You know, I was trying to do something. So
So some kind of validation.
yes,
Some
validation.
kind of validation.
Validation.
Okay. So do you get the news about the baby? It's bittersweet because you're joyful. You got a son coming, but
Yes.
you're scared as all get out because what the hell am I going to do?
Yes.
And so, how did you get to the point? What came first, an intervention, or did you just say, "Okay, I'm going to see a psychiatrist"? And why a psychiatrist when it was alcohol? I found that interesting too, because a lot of people might say, "Oh, go get a 12-step meeting or something," but you went to where people go for things like schizophrenia or any other number of mental illnesses, but not really, or not usually because of an alcohol problem. Talk
Mhm.
about that if you could.
So of course, my alcoholism came from depression. So anxiety. I was having panic attacks in my sleep. It was serious. And alcohol was like I wasn't drinking to um I wasn't planning on drinking. It was depending on my mood, how I was feeling. Because sometimes I wake up depressed. Sometimes I wake up shaking, like, having an anxiety attack. And sometimes alcohol was my band-aid. It was like, okay, let me drink this to take the pain away. And it was working. And then I was just making a habit. And I was like, wow, I'm really, it took me some time to really make myself realize I was an alcoholic and I needed help.
So let's dig in there a little bit, because I've had my run-ins with alcoholics before. I was in a relationship with one, didn't last long, and it's different for each.
Yes.
So
Yes.
like somebody said, "Oh, what kind of drunk is he or she?" She all friendly and lovey. Everybody's over. Some people are mean. Some people
Yes.
are physical. All kinds of things. What was it that you saw? Because it didn't last too long before you went to get help.
Yes. Lauren, it lasts because I was on and off drinking from 2019 until, like, I wasn't. It didn't get rough until October 2021. October 21. So let me share this with you,
Okay.
and then we'll go back a little.
Uh-oh.
So, Lauren, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Or something.
Yeah, somebody was calling me. It was a bill. So I did a commercial with LeBron James, and that was October 2021, and they was gonna put LeBron James head on my body. So it was a Mountain Dew commercial. It was gonna be a Super Bowl commercial,
Oh,
and yes, it was gonna be. Oh my God, it was gonna be awesome. Like, I saw the commercial. I was gonna get established financially, and everything seemed like it was going up and up and up and up. And all of a sudden, no commercial because of a lawsuit. So they had to scratch the commercial. So I'm gonna say my alcoholism got bad after October. So that's October, November, December, January, and February. So February comes. I was drinking. I went a whole week drinking without any water. I was at my lowest point, Lauren, my lowest point. And I said, Jonte, you need some help. So that's when, man, my son's mom, she was here, and that's when we were kind of over. Well, we were over, but she was just staying just so she could find a place. And I cried out to God. I said, God, help me. So she said my eyes were bulging out my face, and I couldn't stand up. So I dialed 911. Good thing I did, because I could have had a stroke. I could have had a heart attack. My blood pressure was 3 numbers on each side. So that's when I realized that's it. So this past February was the last drink I drunk. So it'd be 8 months this month. Clean.
congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Jonte, so listen. So because before the baby, there was the fame.
Yes.
And before the fame, there was all that stuff we know you grew up through.
Yes.
Some of the hardest areas in Philly.
Baltimore
in Philly.
Yes.
I was Fresh Prince.
It's all good. It's all good.
And then you get to that place where a lot of people say, once you have a child, it changes everything. You put something or someone, for maybe in many cases for the very first time, first before yourself. But in your case, the baby came and something reared its ugly head that had never been as bad as it was, I'm assuming now. What do you think it was that was so powerful that even having a new baby wasn't enough to just like shut it down automatically? Because a lot of people, you can do anything if you want to when it comes to your kids, but sometimes that's not true.
So that's a good question, Lauren. So it was more like, at the time, I'm not gonna go into details with that relationship that I was in, but it didn't go as according as planned, and that kind of played a major role because I felt like I didn't have the support that I needed. And it was just more like, wow, I'm a piece of S. It's like I'm back at 9 to 5. I'm not doing what I
Oh, I remember when you went back to, and I had a feeling
yes,
that was that really hurt you, that you
yes,
had to, and I understand that because there's been several times in this
yes,
career that I
yes,
thought I might have to do that, and it was like someone had drop kicked me in my stomach, you know,
yes.
and because you think, what if I don't ever come back? So many people say, "Well, I'm just gonna drop out of school for a minute, and then 40 years later they've never come back." I get it. So, but what, man? How? What were they saying? I mean, how did it? Okay, let's just keep it real. So,
Yeah,
just
keep real.
walk me through it. Were you like not getting up? Because I know your relationship with your mama. So I don't know
Yes.
how you hid this from her.
Matter of fact, she got on my case because she didn't know. I mean, she didn't. I mean, she knew I sipped a little bit, but she didn't know it was that bad until recently. I just manned up and told her, and she felt so bad for me. She said, "Jonte, I didn't know. You hit it good. You hit it good."
So would you consider yourself having been functional?
Yes, I was. I was still working, still kept a job.
So you wouldn't
Yes.
drink on a job or nothing, but you
No.
home. And
No.
so did you start alien? What are some of the warning signs that you know now that you didn't see coming in? Like, did you alienate the people closest to you? Were you trying to cover up if you were drinking inappropriately? Because people be like, damn, it ain't but 7:30 in the morning.
Yep. It was that. It was that. It was that.
What, really? So what were
Yes.
some of the things you were doing to conceal? It's
For,
important.
I was, man. It got to the point, Lauren, where I was. It got so bad that I was drinking soon when I get off work. Like it was so bad because I couldn't sleep, and I was scared to go to sleep because of my anxiety issues. From going from here to here. So that was like the major problem of the alcoholism, and I was drinking from sunlight to sundown, like when I before work and after work, just so I could sleep, so my mind could be at peace, and it was bad. It was
So were
bad.
you doing stuff like keeping breath mints and stuff so people can
Yep.
smell it in?
Yep. Cologne, and you know what? Thank God for the mask because that helped a lot too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that helped a lot, man, and
So,
it was bad.
so now let's talk about now because you were already talking to kids and you've been an example to kids even before Globetrotters, telling your story. So what was it like incorporating? Because can I say it? It
Yeah,
was
go ahead.
just a couple weeks ago, wasn't it? Remember the piece that we showed here today?
Yeah, yeah,
And you sent it to me. And you go, "Do you think it's okay
yep,
that I?"
yep.
It's like, and what did I say to you?
You said, yeah, people need to hear that.
Right? Because when do we think it's okay to give the world a version of our story?
Absolutely,
That part out. You know,
absolutely,
right? So
absolutely.
why do you think? These things happen? Um, Based on what you're doing with it now, it looks a little different, I would think, than when you
Yes.
were, you know, on your face
Mhm.
dealing with this. But now, how does it look? Because I know for a fact, and I think a lot of you all do too, it's never about just one thing. God or whatever we ascribe to be greater than us doesn't make mistakes. They're merely keeping our journeys interesting. So your journey was shook up to keep it interesting. So
Mhm.
how are you different now? Why do you feel it had to happen? And what do you
Mhm.
say to kids who think I want to be like Jonte, I want to go to the NBA or I want to go to the Globetrotters or whatever it is, some sense of fame? Do you throw this disclaimer or warning, 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 Will Robinson, inside of your piece now where before it did not exist?
Mhm. So you know what, Lauren, I'm back in church. I'm back. I believe in Jesus Christ, my Lord God Savior.
Okay.
Um, yes, yes. So it was meant to go like that. God was building me up to where I'm at now. So I get it. At first, I didn't understand why the doors was getting shut in my face. I couldn't understand. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. God wants us to have that unseeable faith where you can't see, you can't touch. You just gotta believe. And that's what I had to get to. That's what I had to learn. And now it's amazing because kids know that I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
They can relate. They can say, "Oh, dang, Jonte, he went through all that and still going through stuff, and I don't feel bad for doing what I used to do or this or that." So I'm not painting this perfect picture now. Now I'm just giving it my all and speaking life into somebody, and you never know who life I could change. So I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change anything.
No, nor should you. And I'm gonna tell you something, Jonte. I really saw a huge difference in your command presence on that stage in that clip we saw.
Thank you.
When you were here before, and because a lot of what you did with kids was fun and games. You did tricks with the balls
Yep.
and this, that, and the other, but there wasn't that in your face. Guess what happened with me just
Yep.
5 years ago?
Yep.
That vulnerable piece really
Yes.
wasn't in there. It was just entertainment. So
Yes.
now I think it's what they call edutainment, right? So moving forward, what do you do now? Because who wants to think like, okay, what's my next thing I'm gonna have to go through so that I have something to help people with, or does this experience make you unpack some other things? Because we said the drinking was because of core issues. So there were probably things that led to the depression long before you knew you were headed for depression. Right? Things that when you had the fame were in there because there's pressure and being told what to do and being
Absolutely.
overlooked, and I wonder how much money they get and why am I not, and all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
So what would you say, Jonte, is the greatest misconception that people have when they look at someone from a place of fame and they're like stargazing? What do you think, if they knew this, they might think differently about wanting that?
Absolutely. I think it's up to us to let people know what's going on. I think it's really up to us to share our vulnerabilities, and because like you said, they paint this picture. Oh, he ain't got no worries, he ain't stressed.
Oh, there goes somebody calling him again. Put that thing on what they call that? Airplane mode. And that must have been a big bill caller because he still ain't back. Dang. Whoever that bill was, you was trying to tell him, leave it on for another hour. I'm on my way. You muted. Unmute.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
No worries. You know what I want to ask you, because I don't want to forget this one. So, Jonte, if your mother didn't find out till after the fact, did you not tell anybody close to you? Is that why you went to the psychiatrist, the outside person first? Were you trying to keep it a secret from the people closest to you?
My son's mom knew. She was the first one that kind of told me that, you think you have a problem? She asked me, and I'm like,
why did she see it? Because moms be like,
yeah.
You late him up and his head looked like, why his head ain't combed or what?
Yeah, facts. Yeah, you're right. And she told me, she was like, Jonte, you need to go get some help. And so I said, I'm okay. I got this under control. But she was right. I did need help.
What do you think that meant? Like, go to an AA meeting? What did you think get help meant? Because I know in the African American community, it can mean a whole bunch of things. Because we'd be like, don't take that shit out in the streets. We're going to the house, stay in this house. We don't want everybody to know. You take care of this yourself.
Yeah.
So when she said to you, Jonte, you need to get help, what image did that create in your mind?
AA, stuff like that. And I didn't realize it was my anxiety that was causing me to drink. I didn't know.
Which is a
And
mental illness, or could be.
yes, mental health. Yes. And when I woke up, well, being afraid to go to sleep because you scared you're gonna have an anxiety attack. So that's why I had to drink. I had to put my mind at ease, and that eventually that didn't work. That kind of that went out the door. So it was just like God telling me, no, you need to go get help.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Well, let's touch on the anxiety part, because a lot of people, I know they're like, well, what that kind of anxiety? You know, think about it. I got this from from the High Five interview. People come up to you all the time because they still see you in things and on things, and in their minds, you're still living that life. But here you are walking down the street at 1 p.m, you know, looking
Trying to get a drink.
you know what I'm saying? Kind of suspect, looking kind of suspect. So what does it feel like, the pressure? Not just family and friends, but just strangers, fans who come up and say, well, what happened? What happened to you? You know, like you are nothing now because you're not what they perceived you to be. Talk about how you deal with something like that.
Lauren, I'm gonna dig a little deep. So I'm gonna answer your question though. But my first job, because I was living on my 401k, right?
Okay.
For a little bit. But I had to work, right? So my favorite restaurant when I first moved up here in the suburbs and Maryland, I went to work at my favorite restaurant, and I was washing dishes. So from
after the Harlem Globetrotters.
Right after the Harlem Globetrotters.
Wow.
Washing dishes at my favorite restaurant, right? And so they know me. We watch my games on ESPN. And so when this one customer, this regular, saw me, I was just like, oh my God. And I had on an apron and I was washing dishes. I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed, man. I almost cried. And that's when the anxiety just kept coming in, kept pouring in. And the more and more I stress, the more I drink. It was that bad, man. It was that bad. You know, not being able, I think it was tough for me to accept my now.
Yeah.
And I will say this, and I learned this from my spiritual guide. He told me, he prophesied to me. He said, God took it away from you to teach you humbleness, to humble you. And I said, what you talking about? Like I was humble, but I had to dig deep, Lauren. And I said, you know what? I wasn't giving God my all. You know, we have a jealous God. So I wasn't giving him my all. So that's why he said, you know what? Got to start from the bottom.
Okay. Let me ask you how you feel about this. I'm glad you said that, because there's been a theme with all of the coaching clients that I have for this current and most recent season. We're in Q4, and I don't call them quarters, I call them seasons. And so we've all had the theme. We've been underneath the marquee, if you will, of making sure that we're good stewards. You know, really feeling a universal urgency, a pressing on my spirit to make sure that all of us are doing our very best at being great stewards, which means, you know, how can we expect nickels, dimes, and quarters when we can't account for the pennies we already have been blessed with? And so I think it's always important that when we manifest, co-create with what is greater than us, you know, you have what you want, what you need, and you bring it to the table and you go, you know, when you give me what I ask, when you give me what I need, here's what I plan to do with it. What I plan to do with it. Because, you know, when we do that, see, that's the thing. Plan or need is connected to a plan. Need to, if the doctor says you need to lose 20 pounds, well, what do we need to do, Doc? Or I'm going to put you on insulin. Well, first we need to get you off sugar. We need to get your blood pressure down. There's a plan. But if the person's sitting around going, I want to lose 20 pounds, 2 weeks later, they haven't gained it. Because when you just say, I want this, I want that, and you don't know why, it's because it is a wish. It's not it's not a need. So let's talk about your needs today. When you look at your son, how big of a role does he play now? Because he was up in there when you were about ready to just walk away, give up, lay down. And he wasn't able to make you see through the fog, as they say, will always be a true sign. No, it didn't work. But what about now when you look at him? What do you think you will say to him when he's old enough to ask, hey, Dad, I heard whoever talking about that time they said you used to be an alcoholic. That ain't true, is it, Dad? What do you say?
I'm saying, of course it's true, son. Life is challenging. You go through ups and downs. It's not going to be peaches and cream, but it's up to us to have that strength, that inner courage, to know yourself, to not settle, to not go, to not walk in that path where you about to give up. And your dad was in a dark place at that time. I had a lot going on. I'm gonna keep it real with him.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell him. I'm saying, but I'm still here. I never gave up.
One reason. Amen to that too, brother. Amen to that. Another reason I think a lot of people have a hard time reaching for help, whether it's a drug addiction, gambling addiction, shopping addiction, alcohol, is because once you come out about it, like now, do you feel a responsibility or like this shaming thing that from now on, you're going to always have to say, I'm a recovering alcoholic? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm going to tell you why I have a problem with that. I'll tell you why. I had a 14-year, what I thought was a 14-year drug addiction until that day a couple of years ago. I was minding my business, shoveling snow in the driveway, just snuffling like it wasn't nothing. It was a regular old day. And God said, too funny. He's like, oh, and by the way, Lauren, you were never truly addicted to drugs all those years for 14 years, right? I'm like, what? How in the world? What you talking about, Willits? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he said, no, drugs never lied to you. They didn't trick you. Everything they promised to do, and you'd seen hundreds and not thousands of examples. Every time you invited them in, they did exactly what they promised to do.
Wow, that's deep.
You weren't addicted to the drugs. You were addicted to the abuse of my gift of invitation. Because nothing can get in there and take control. That's why inside is all of the internal things: insight, intuition, instinct, all the things to keep us. Wait a minute, something don't feel right about this. I don't know. My first mind tell me I probably shouldn't go in the car with your ass. Or whatever. Told me not to give her that money, And so when I heard that I was never addicted to drugs, I was merely addicted to abusing the gift of invitation. At the moment I revoked that invitation to drugs, your services aren't required here anymore. Got that passport back and banished them to the outer limits of everything connected to me. It changed. And so I just wonder, how do you look at that? Do you think you need to drag that title behind you like a ball and chain? Or is there another way? Because you did it so quick. 5 months, boom, 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 and you're sober now, So how does that feel for you? How you going to frame that moving forward?
That's a good question. I kind of like how you put it. And Lauren, I'm 8 months. So that video was 8 months, almost a year.
Right. Okay, get that out there.
Yeah. So that video was like 3 months ago. And that's the first time I ever talked. This is like the second time I ever talked about it.
How does it make you feel?
Amazing. Like Lauren, like you have, and I want to give your flowers now. Like you have really inspired me, man, over the years I've been knowing you. And then just to have your input on sharing this, because I was just like, maybe it's too much. Maybe I shouldn't step out there and let the fans see me, like this. But you told me, man, I think you should do it. And I appreciate that, man.
Of course, because God doesn't. We don't live things for no reason.
Mhm.
And the thing about it is, the Harlem Globetrotter fame and the life you lived, you do know you were manifesting much of that life before you even knew there were Harlem Globetrotters. You
Absolutely.
know, the fortitude and strength that brought you through this thing with the alcohol. You manifested a lot of those things that helped you, that assisted
Yes.
you long before the alcohol was a problem. Right
Yes.
now, through these stories and being here today, you are manifesting things that your young man will pick up in his 30s, his 40s, his 60s, because when we mean things, they instantly become meaningful somewhere in this
Mhm.
universe.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
truth is the only thing that never changes.
You're right. And Lauren, look, check this out.
Yeah.
Alcoholism, addiction runs in my family. It's in the bloodline.
Really?
Yes, yes. And I know my purpose. I am, other than changing lives through my engagements, but I'm a generational curse breaker.
I remember you talking about a relative.
My Aunt Caressa, yeah, you interviewed her.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
And
yes,
wow,
yes.
yes.
So drug addiction, alcoholism, all that stuff, anxiety, depression, that runs in my bloodline. So I'm put here. I know my purpose. That's why I will never go back. I am a generational curse breaker of my family.
I know that's right. I
Yes.
know that's right. Can I get an amen? Y'all
Thank you.
put some hearts on the screen.
Yes.
Steve Sugram, I know you know about that.
Yes.
Man, so let's talk about legacy. So, how has that word, the definition of that word, the perception of that word, has it changed since you first ran out on the court doing all your tricks and stuff
Mm-hmm.
and crowds of thousands of people screaming and hollering and stomping their feet? What does legacy look like, feel like, mean to you today?
I think it means. I think it means more now than when I was famous because realizing what I overcame, realizing what I accomplished, breaking those strongholds in my life with the alcoholism.
Yeah.
I think it means more now. It means a lot now because my son will realize that his daddy survived a lot, beat all odds, broke all strongholds. So it means a lot. It
Now,
means a lot now.
what about those naysayers? Some people call them haters. I always tell people I don't have haters. I got closet fans. They just don't know, right? I ain't got no
Facts.
haters. Why should
Facts.
everybody like us for no reason? No, we got to win them over to our side of thinking.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
and so, what about people that say, "Oh yeah, sure, Jonte Hall. It's only been 8 months. Call me when you got 13 years under your belt." That's
Yeah.
when I first started telling people that I was, you know,
Yeah. You're right. You always get
that's
that.
the shit when I first started telling my story. I wouldn't be telling people all that yet because I didn't tell them this until I'd been on stages 500 times. I had a speaker text me.
Yeah.
I said, well, that was you.
Facts. I was about to say that too.
That was you.
Facts.
What's that got to do with me?
Facts.
Nothing. So what do you say to that person that thinks that I have something that I might be a little ashamed of or that I'm dealing with now that feels heavy like it felt for him? Is, is it easy? Could it be as easy for me as it appears to have been for this guy to turn it around, to reach for that thing, that place, that spirit, that help that we need when we can't find it on our own? What would you say to that person who thinks you're just the lucky one, Jonte? It could never work for me.
Um, Lauren, I think it will work for everybody, anybody, if they have self-love. I think self-love matters to everybody. You got to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, that's when those thoughts, those feelings, those not feeling love, that's when it's the addiction come in. The
Yeah.
addiction because you want to feel needed, you want to feel wanted, and you feel like that drug want me, that drug need me.
Yeah.
You know, that drink need me, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm gonna say self-love, love yourself and get help. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. See, we all African Americans, anybody, we afraid to acknowledge that we have a problem.
Yeah.
And we're afraid when we find out, we're afraid to get help. So you got to talk to somebody. You got to, because if you don't, it's going to keep being a
Something
problem.
that it's not. Now, let me
Yes.
ask you, do you avoid like family gatherings where there's alcohol? Do you
No.
avoid going? Because some people act like those places don't exist. And
No.
I've always thought, well, what kind of corner is that you're painting yourself into? How realistic is that? So, but do you get the urges? Do you like hear people clinking and toast, a toast, and you know, dang, I can't do that anymore. No, but is there ever a pull, even a little bit?
No, not at all. Because I knew what
Wow.
type of person I was becoming doing that. And I know my purpose now. So it's a difference when you know your purpose. Now, if I didn't know my purpose, it probably would entice me. But I know my mission. No, I know I'm here to fulfill my purpose. So
Absolutely,
the
absolutely.
only thing I had to work on, Lauren, is having fun without drinking. Because I mean, I'm in life of the party, but when I had that liquor in me, I was, you know what I mean, I was just, you know,
Yay!
dancing out,
I just
yay.
you
So
did like your little dancing and stuff.
yeah. So I kind of had to like make myself have fun. You know, you know, it was tough. It was tough, but now I got the hang of it. Now I'm able to be myself no matter what.
Did you ever drink in front of the baby?
Um, I did, but thank God he was real little.
He was real little.
Real little, yes. So he had no memory of that.
So now that must be a pretty great thing that you know
Yes.
that you never have to worry about being that example.
Yes. Thank God. Thank God he took it away from me right on time.
Because it could have been all to keep him from
Yes.
that sip that took him beyond
Yes.
point of return. You see,
Yes.
it's never
Yes.
about just one thing. So,
Yes.
what's going on in your world now? Anything coming up where we can support you? Go and check you out. Where can people go and find out more about how to book you to come and speak? Because you do some great work with kids
Thank
and
you, Lord.
all that. Yeah.
Thank
So, where can
you.
people tell them what's coming up and where they can find you, John?
So what's coming up? I got a celebrity basketball game that I'm about to play at here in Maryland. I have a couple gigs coming up. Nothing set in stone. Um, I'm with this speaking bureau that I'm still waiting for them to get me out there. But if you want to book me, you can book me personally. You can book me on Facebook, Jonte Hall, send me a direct message. You can hit me up on Instagram at Too Tall Hall 7. That's TOO Tall TALL. Last name is Hall number 7. Twitter, the same thing, Too Tall Hall 7. What else I'm on? LinkedIn, Jonte Hall. I'm on TikTok. So, and my email is Jonte not so small at gmail.com. So holla at me if you need a speaker. Holla at me.
Absolutely. Especially, listen, y'all, for real. Go on YouTube. Look at what he does with kids at your schools. Ain't nothing like it. You know, they always go and get all them retired football players, and they don't even be throwing the ball much.
Absolutely.
Trophies and stuff up on the table.
Yeah.
They're not even like go long to a kid.
Yeah.
Where you
I do all that.
right.
Hold on. So I'm gonna show you. Look.
Show a trick. Hold
Yep.
on. Here comes trick, y'all. Once here you go.
See, I do all that.
All that stuff. Right. See, because you're a showman. You're a showman.
Yeah. I do all that.
You know, Jonte, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, brother.
Because you know what? You don't offer the world a version. When you were on top, you gave them the top. When you're in the middle, you gave them the middle. And when you felt like you were at your lowest, you brought that in and you gave it to us as well. So I applaud you. I know what that means. I know what kind of doors it will open. And I know the anointing that comes with it, because that's what it's all about. I'm so proud of you. You're welcome back anytime. You guys get in, just type his name in Google. I mean, You're going to see him everywhere. Follow him, support him. And if you need a great speaker for kids or adults or both, this is your guy. Jonte, I want to thank you again.
No problem.
Next time, bring the boy.
I will.
Is he, what do you think? You think he's going to be short? You think he's going to be medium? You think he's going to be tall?
No, actually, I think he's going to be tall, man, because his hands are huge. Yeah, he's going to be tall.
People in her.
Yes. Yeah, her first son is 6'1".
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be tall. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah. Well, but no, listen. Hey, big things come in small packages.
We like that, Lauren.
Okay. All right. Listen, you guys, I'll see you Monday. Who do we have? Oh, January Riggins is here. Broke free from being inside the sex slave trade for years. I'm going to check
that out.
Oh, she's a phenomenal. Has a street mission now. She goes out and just does. I followed her on the streets of Utah when I was there speaking, and she does a needle exchange program for people that are homeless. She just incredible, all out of her pocket. January Riggins is here Monday. A great lineup every day next week. Don't miss it. I'll meet you Monday morning, God willing, on the front porch where together we can fulfill that greatest promise where two or more of us comes together. Spiritual magic is guaranteed. Have your best weekend ever. And thank you again. Thank you, Jonte. And thank all of you. I wouldn't want to do it without you. I love you. And there's nothing you can do about that. We'll see you. Bye-bye, all. Take care. Take care, man.
Bye-bye.
Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Shamelessly displaying my state of mind.